Coach, how was it changing spots and being up in the booth, or I'm sorry, being on the field from being up in the booth all year?
Being on the sideline is just a little bit more exciting than the booth, if you could imagine. Just being around the guys, feeling the vibe on the sideline, connecting with each position, talking them throughout the game, and then being right next to Russell. So it was. I thought it worked out well.
What was the reason to put Klint up in the press box? Because a lot of play callers like to be down with the action.
Yeah, it's a play caller's choice. You know what I mean? It's where they feel more comfortable. Having the call sheet in front of you and kind of going through everything, and in a controlled environment's a little bit easier for some guys. But that was his choice for that.
And did Coach explain to you? You're the offensive coordinator. He was the quarterback's coach. He called the plays. What was your feelings on that?
I thought, through the whole process, Klint is a proven play caller. And in our situation right now, you just can't move forward with a guy in my position that is not called into the game. So he's got a great track record with what he did with the Vikings. And no coach knows any player better in the building than his position player itself. So he knows exactly what he wants, what he's thinking. He's with them all the time. They're always collaborating. There's a lot of discussion throughout the week, via text or when he's not in the building or whatever it may be. So he's got a really, really good, strong relationship with Russell. So in my position, it's, supporting Klint any way possible, giving him ideas throughout the game. We were going back and forth throughout the series of what's next, and I thought it was a really good collaboration.
Russell was very efficient in that first half. What do you think was the reason for that kind of breakout half?
I think going back to his question, I feel like Klint having a really good idea, being around him all the time of what exactly he feels comfortable with. The whole process of him getting in and out of plays, I thought it was really smooth. In the first 15, you would expect some really good plays based off of what you've seen on film, and then you adjust after that. But I felt like Russell was really comfortable early on.
What do you think needs to change and adjust for the second half to be just as effective as the first half?
I think if it all boils down to everything, I think it boils down to third down. I don't think it's necessarily a first and second half thing. I think it's third down, and going through the whole process and looking at everything, we have not been very efficient at all. So this is something that we are really honing in on. Obviously, the base plan, you're going to have your mixtures, but you don't want to be too creative, but you also got to have answers. Last game, we got a lot more man coverage compared to the previous week. So the ability to adjust and have guys, win their one-on-one matchups is what we need to do a little bit better.
Is it a matter of a lot of those third downs being third and long, or is it something even breaking down on the third and intermediate and third and short?
Yeah, even third and one, we're not very efficient. So those are the things that we have to be a little bit better at in those situations. Obviously, the closer you are to the sticks, the better. But those third and long situations are a little bit more difficult. So, I thought they did a really good job of just switching things up coverage-wise and what they've been doing previously. We just got to be better with our plan moving forward.
What specifically on those third and ones needs to be remedied to get those right?
It's just that it could be one-off, or it's either a mental error or technique is a little bit off, or just whatever it may be. It just wasn't connecting the last couple weeks. So the efficiency is, you love to be over 55, 60%. That's where we want to be. Right now, we're not there. So we got to be, sometimes you got to be a little bit more creative in those situations, because you know exactly, what you've shown on video and what the defense is preparing for each and every week. So being a little bit more creative in those worlds, we're going to move forward with.
You talk about third down today, and you've talked about it all season. How nice was it to not have your first third down until the last play of the second drive?
I thought we were, really rolling there. I felt like there was a lot of confidence within the offense. And then, when it did approach, that's where it was our Achilles heel throughout that game.
Coach, what's the expectation with where the running back room sits now? And we haven't seen Marlon Mack on the field much this year. A few years ago, before he got hurt, he was obviously a pretty dynamic back. So
yeah, I'm really excited to see what Marlon can do for us. Latavius, he's a big old back, man. He's a physical runner, but you don't want to get him beat up throughout the entire process of everything. He's an older guy that we want to make sure that we're taking care of and not putting him in a bunch of situations where he's just carrying the load throughout the whole process. So these other guys are going to have to step up and, having these mental days, in the walkthroughs, whether we do it, throughout the day or the extra meeting time to catch these guys up. I think Coach Wheat will get them going.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.